Hey Juventini, welcome to the All Juve Cast channel, and we are going to preview a match that may not take place. We're going to preview Juve versus Napoli and talk about all the drama that unfolded yesterday and look at where we stand. Check it out. All right, Juventini. So we're going to kick off the preview and prediction like I normally did. Then we're going to let the news unfold and see where I stand now. So the matchup, how I normally do these preview and predictions, in the history of this fixture, Napoli versus Juventus, we have 173 total matches, 82 wins for Juventus, 42 going to those toilets, Napoli. 49 matches ended in draw. Okay. The top goal scorers for this fixture. Can you take a guess with two of them playing for both teams? There's your little hint. So, leaders, Antonio Vojak, who played for both clubs with 11 goals, sits atop, but he's tied with Pinturicchio, Alessandro Del Piero at 11. Felice Borel of Juve, 9 goals in this fixture. Gonzalo Higuain, who played for both clubs, has 9 goals in this fixture. And then Bonaperti with 8. Most recently out of these matches, Napoli bested us on the last two, one being the Coppa Italia final. That was played, went to penalty kicks and we lost. And then in January, we lost 2-1. I'm pretty sure if my memory serves me right. So, yeah, kind of owe them a bit of revenge here. Now, when you look at the team list as far as injuries go, you have Adrian Rabiot for Juventus, out due to suspension because of his cards. Bernardeschi still injured. And of course, Matthias de Ligt, healing from shoulder surgery, not available to us to November. And then you have Sami Khedira, who's just an absolute toilet. He's been told he's not in our plans, wants his full pay. Napoli. Napoli, this is key, okay? They have Lorenzo Insigne out, okay? But furthermore, this is where it gets interesting. They have Zelensky out due to COVID, and they have Elmas, who's just tested positive for COVID. I believe they have a couple of officials that have also tested positive for COVID. This is where it gets interesting. Napoli's previous match was against Genoa. Genoa has a massive, massive list of COVID affected. Their match has been postponed. News broke out yesterday, and this is where it got crazy, that Napoli was banned from traveling to Turin and the game would be postponed. Immediately upon getting this news, I posted on Twitter that I was fine with postponing the match. I don't want to be awarded points for matches that aren't played. However, the story continued to evolve and gain traction, and more news was coming up. And what had happened was basically Napoli was saying that the ASL was the health authority, which is the health authority there, prevented them from traveling. Okay. Questions immediately arose because Salernitana, a club also based out of Campania, this region that's having the outbreak, was not prevented, and they had players that tested with COVID. Also, you have the league's protocols and rules, which just simply say that COVID affected players will be separated and treated as injuries. And a lot of clubs, and even big clubs, have followed these rules and protocols. Okay. Then you have the ANSA that comes out and states that the ASL never actually banned Napoli from traveling. This flipped a switch in my mind. Now, no longer do I care if we're just awarded 3 points, but this is BS. The more that comes out, the more it seems that De Laurentiis, that absolute clown of a president that they have, that all their fans want a crown, okay? Like he's still small time when it comes to Serie A, and he will always be small time. This is clear in my mind that he's losing Insigne, Zelensky, and he wants them in the match against Juventus, and he's trying to pull this little stunt to get out of this match, okay? The problem I have now had as all this news breaks out is why, as Napoli fans start to attack Juve, not only Napoli fans, Serie A fans as well, attack Juve because Juve comes out and puts out a statement saying, we're going to attend the game because the league has not canceled the game. They have not postponed the match. And I have to ask the question, if the league hasn't postponed this match or canceled it, okay, it must be because Napoli actually isn't banned from traveling, okay? The fans, Napoli fans, want to use this situation. They've just played Genoa, and Genoa has a high number of COVID effect. However, you're 5 days removed from that match. Yes, it's positive to test positive a little bit later from being in contact. However, the protocols and rules that were put in were agreed to by all the clubs. If now we get into situations where you want to quarantine for 14 days, this season will never take place. And then you just have to call it off. The problem is you've already started and you've already gone through this, and other clubs have already faced this. So if you're going to all of a sudden switch it now, you can't. It's too late. You've started to follow these guidelines. You have to stick with it. And what on earth makes Napoli the exception? Bullshit. Trying to pull strings to save your bacon is crap. And everybody that wants to attack Juventus, those clubs would do the exact same thing to us. Napoli would do the exact same thing to us. So yeah, my tune changed as the story evolved and all this came out. I started to see it for what it is. It's De Laurentiis playing games, trying to get his key guys in the matchup against Juve. And, you know, despite how Juve might be portrayed in this whole thing, I kind of like the fact that they're being ruthless because everybody else in Italy would be ruthless like that with us. So fuck it. Okay. Prediction now. Originally, I was going to say that Juve would grind it out and win the 2-1. Okay. And here's the funniest thing about it all. De Laurentiis is such a loser, such a small time chump that he literally took his club, who was playing great in the opening matches. Okay. You have Juve, who's been hit and miss in their first two matches. Okay, really coming off a bad showing against Roma, but able to secure a draw. But we have so many uncertainties. Pirlo we haven't even got our footing under him. The momentum's with Napoli. I would want to play this game. Instead, he continues to breed this fear of Juve in his own club and totally mindfucks his own team. So the league has said the match is going to take place. The news as of this morning is that Juve and the officials must be on the pitch for 45 minutes, a whole half, before it could be considered a forfeit, which is ridiculous. Are you still going to watch it? But my prediction was Juve is going to grind it out 2-1. Okay. Now, it appears Napoli's not going to show up. Maybe we get the 3-0 forfeit, and then it'll go to the courtroom, and I'm sure Napoli's going to appeal and put all this out, and it'll come down to whether or not those documents are real and who's right. Is the ANSA right in saying that the ASL never actually banned them, or this document that's floating around that cleverly Napoli put out, is that real? And were they told to quarantine for 14 days? Who knows? This is an absolute gong show, but never, ever a dull moment in Serie A. This is unbelievable. But for all the fans that are blaming Juventus and whatnot, I mean, give your heads a shake. We're not the ones that made Milan play without Zlatan Ibrahimovic. We're not the ones that made Liverpool play without a couple of their key guys. These are the rules and protocols that all the clubs, including Napoli, agreed to. And now they're trying to make the change. If all of a sudden you don't like the rules and protocols, well, then you have to go through a process that involves all the clubs, not just take it into your own hands and make this happen. The other key point is that the guy apparently who is from this authority is a good chum of Mr. De Laurentiis that puts out this paperwork or whatnot saying that they cannot travel. Yeah, interesting. But Napoli, you guys are a bunch of clowns. De Laurentiis is the biggest clown of all. To crown this guy is an absolute joke. He's an idiot. Get your asses to Turin and play this match. I don't know, Juventini. Will we get a match? Will we not? I don't know. Will we get the forfeit and get the win? I don't know. Time will tell. It'll be interesting, and have fun if you're going to be on Twitter. One way or another, as always, Forza Juve, Pino alla Pina. Ciao.